Hey guys, today we're just going to jump into this video because it is kind of a lengthy one. So I'm going to show you guys my go-to glam. So first I like to clean my makeup, clean my skin before I apply makeup so that it's a nice clean canvas. I just use my micellar water from Garnier and I use 2 cotton rounds. So I use that all over my face, neck, wherever I'm putting makeup. I just make sure it's nice and clean. So depending on your skin type, this step is important. I am moisturizing now. I have combination oily, so I like to use my fresh Lotus moisturizer. It's very nice and lightweight, but still gives me the moisture that I need where it's not too much. If you are on a little bit more drier side, I would make sure that you moisturize properly because skin prep is important to how your makeup will lay on your skin. So I like to just moisturize that into my skin. I bring it down to my neck, give myself a little massage, and now I am priming my skin. So I'm using the e.l.f. Poreless Putty. I really like this primer. It helps to smooth out my skin. Wherever I'm porous, that's where I'll apply it. I just put a little bit on my ring finger and press it into the skin. I've definitely seen a difference with this primer. It just makes my skin look nice and airbrushed and flawless. So I really like that. So if you have textured skin, this would be really great for you. Now I'm taking a little bit of color corrector from NYX on my under eyes and wherever I have any acne spots because quarantine snacks have definitely been getting to me. So had to cover that up. Now I'm using the FitMe Matte and Poreless Foundation from Maybelline. So I just put some on the back of my hand. Now I'm using a silicone applicator. This is a Kevin Aquan one, but I'm just painting that onto my face and I'm going to be working in sections. So I just put that all over one side of my cheek. And this way you're not using too much foundation. And then I'm going to take my Sephora foundation brush and I'm going to press that into my skin and blend it out. So I used to use a beauty blender for this step, but I found that using a foundation brush, you get much more coverage if that's something that you are looking for. Also, it blends out much nicer. If you're looking for a really good foundation brush, I would recommend anything that is dense. You could use like a flat kabuki brush or a foundation brush like the one I'm using. So I'm just blending that into my skin, working into sections. Make sure you're blending down to your neck so there's no lines of demarcation. And a little bit goes a long way. Do a nice thin layer and then go back to where you need. So now I'm applying a little bit to my forehead, not using too much, and blending out. And here I like to just swipe some of the foundation above my eyebrows because now I leave my brows to last rather than doing them first and carving them out. I just think it gives a more natural finish to your brows. And now I'm just going over my nose, any other areas I feel like need to be blended out. And then I'm going to go over with my beauty blender just to pick up some excess product if it's a little bit too much. I just want to make sure my skin looks like skin even though it is with foundation on. Now I'm taking the Kosas Concealer and it's one of my favorite concealers at the moment. It gives a nice skin but better finish. So I'm just going to apply that to the inner corner of my eye, down the bridge of my nose, and on the sides of my eyes to just give me that more lifted look. I really like this technique that I've been using recently. I've seen it online. They call it the supermodel, how to conceal and highlight like a supermodel. But it just gives you a really nice lift to your face, but also brightens where you need it so that you're not overusing concealer. So I have some down the bridge of my nose, center of my face. And now I'm using my cream contour from RCMA. You can find this palette online. It's one of my favorite cream contours. I just tried the Fenty one. I'll do a video on that because I really love that, the new cream bronzer. But this one I'm just taking around the perimeter of my forehead. I like a smaller forehead, so I go a little ham with this. And then I do it on my eyes as well, so it gives a nice natural contour, which also helps with that lifted look down the sides of my nose. And I bring that into my brow, so when I'm blending it out, it just looks all like one shadow rather 2 stripes on my nose and then nothing is connected. It just looks too disconnected when you don't bring it up to your brow. And then I bring some concealer under my brow just to highlight that area and on my lid. So I'm just making sure to just go around the cream contour so I'm not disrupting it too much. And now that we got that on and popping, let's go ahead and blend that out. So I'm going to take my number 71 Sephora brush and I'm just pressing that onto the concealer, blending it out with that. So the beauty blender is great to use for your under eyes, but I feel like it's for me, it picks up products and I want the full coverage. I don't want to have to keep going back and, adding more products. So with this, you're getting the coverage you want. It's being pressed into your skin so it looks more airbrushed. Everything looks nice and flawless using this brush, and I like it that it's at an angle. So while I'm pressing it into the concealer next to my nose, it's also blending out that contour. So I'm not going to completely blend out this contour right now because I'm going to add a lighter concealer just to highlight a little bit more. But as you can see, it's blending out really nicely. So now I'm taking a fluffy angled brush and I'm just pressing that into my skin, blending out my contour. So I'm just going to go ahead and drag that along my eye, but then I'm going to press this into my cheek. So instead of rubbing, if you rub the brush up and down, it's going to disrupt that cream consistency. So you want to press first and just go up and down and work with it, and it should blend out perfectly fine. So there is going to be a little bit of a disconnect from the concealer and the bronzer. So I just go ahead and take my foundation brush and just press it into my skin, blend that out a little bit, just around it, so it's not like stacked of colors. You want everything to just look nice and seamless. So I'm just going to go ahead and take my beauty blender. We're going to blend that out. And now I'm taking my Tarte Shape Tape just right next to the corner of my eye, along the bridge of my nose, and just slightly on the side of my eyes. I didn't have to do that, but I was just being extra. Then I'm going to do a nice thin line going from my nose to my forehead, and then right on the tip of the nose. Now I'm getting closer to the cream contour with this product, just blending it out a little bit more, making sure that everything is seamless. It's good to turn your head towards the mirror to the side to make sure you see what you're blending and not blending straight on. And don't be afraid to use your fingers to blend as well. The warmth of your fingers will help blend out the product a little bit more. I am going in with a little bit more cream bronzer just to sculpt the nose a little bit and blending it out with my beauty blender. Whatever's left on my beauty blender that I use, I just like to clean up my cream contour a little bit more. These are steps if you're like going out and you really want that ultra glam look. You obviously don't have to do this. It's not like an everyday, day-to-day makeup look. So it's a couple of steps, but if you really want that flawless finish or like a really nice skin base, this would look great on you. Also with contouring, make sure you find your face shape, see what you like, what works for your face. I just took my baking powder and went ahead and put it on the sides of my nose, on the under eye, and wherever I put that concealer, I just went ahead and cleaned up under my cheeks as well, so it's nice and sculpted. I'm taking my foundation powder from Makeup Forever, pressing that into the skin and blending out under my cheeks. I don't like to keep the bake too long there because, you know, we don't want it to be bright. We just want to clean up the area. So now I'm pressing in that Park Ave Princess bronzer. This is one of my fave bronzers. It gives a nice glow to the skin. So I'm going ahead and just pressing it onto the skin. Wherever I put the cream bronzer, I'm just lightly patting it over it to set, but also give a little bit more color to my skin. Make sure you bring it down your jawline, down your neck. You want it to look nice and snatched and cohesive. We want it to all go together. If you go a little ham, you could go back with your foundation powder, which I definitely did. Now I'm taking my Hoola bronzer. This is more cooler of a tone, so I'm going to use that to contour a little bit more, just to run down the sides of my nose. And as well as the hollows of my cheek, I'm going in with my Friendcation palette from Dose of Colors, using that light brown, and this is going to be our transition shade. This color is going to allow us to blend any other shade onto our eyes and make it look more seamless, like an ombre, sunset kind of effect. So I'm taking New Yorker from the Amrezy palette, one of my favorite palettes, and I am shaping out the sides of my eyes. So we're going to bring it up, keep that feline, sultry, lifted look. So I'm just packing it onto the outer corner of my eye and blending it upwards. Now I'm going back with that brush with the transition shade and blending everything out. Now I'm taking the darker brown in the palette and I'm focusing it on the outer corner just to deepen up the eyes a little bit more and blending once again so that everything just looks seamless. A lot of what makes great eye looks great is blending. You want to make sure that you're blending the eyeshadow, okay? You can use 20 different eyeshadows, but if the blend isn't good, the look isn't good. I only use 3 and you know, it really makes a difference. Now I'm taking a dark brown eyeshadow from the palette and I'm focusing that on the outer corner of my eye. I drag the line from my lower lash line going upwards, and this is the best way that you can see your eye shape and where the line should go. And then I brought it back in a more of like a triangle formation. I'm not bringing it all the way in, I only did the outer third. And then I'm also creating a little bit of a line on the inner corner of my eye just to elongate my eyes a little bit more. Then I'm taking black shadow just really close to my lash line to define the lash. So now you can see what one eye looks and the other one doesn't. So then I went ahead and did on the other eye, and now I am taking that nude pinky color, and I'm placing that on my lids to just open up my eyes a little bit more, give it a little color, give it a little dimension, and then blend everything out because I really don't want a harsh cut crease. I just want a little light there. So now I'm just wiping away my bake, and then I'm lightly dusting it on the center of my nose. I don't bake the center of my nose because I just find that this makes my nose look a little bit more slimmer. It looks really nice in pictures as well, so I feel like I don't need to bake that area. So whatever we did on the crease, I'm just doing it on the lower lash. I'm taking New Yorker on my lower lash line and a little bit of a dark brown on the outer corner. Now I'm taking the Bad Bitch Lash, I believe that's the name, from Wet n Wild Beauty and Bretman Rock, their collaboration. This is one of my favorite mascaras. It really grips the lash, lengthens, volumizes. Now I'm taking my House of Lashes Iconic Lash. This is one of my favorite lashes for this kind of look. It just really opens up the eye, gives it that cat eye look because majority of the lashes are on the outer corner. I'm using my Luminous setting spray from Morphe. This is literally a dupe for Fix Plus from MAC. It's one of my favorite setting sprays. Make sure when you're fanning yourself dry, you're using something so that your whole face dries evenly, because if not, it could come out splotchy. I'm using Artist Couture Hot Damn, and I just went ahead and put that on the tops of my cheeks. I'm using my fingers just to highlight my nose a little bit, down the bridge of my nose and on the tip of my nose, so it gives me more of like a button nose vibe. So now I'm taking an Ofra highlighter just to brighten my inner corner of my eyes. You can use any pearlescent highlighter. I just really love a bright inner corner. And now I'm taking Charlotte Tilbury, the Airbrush Flawless Finish powder. And I'm using that on the sides of my nose, under my eyes, just to brighten a little bit more, just to set everything into place. This really, before I used it, I didn't think it was anything special. After I used it, I definitely saw a finish. It just makes my under eyes look so smooth. Now I'm taking the Patrickta blush, and She's Passionate. And it's just a pretty soft pink with warm undertones. And I just popped that on the apples of my cheek and blend it upwards just to marry the highlighter and the bronzer. You can really pack this on, and it's buildable blush, so it's really pretty on the skin. So I'm just going ahead, putting that on my nose, forehead, and my cheeks, just so that everything blends together. And then I'm taking foundation powder just because I felt like I went a little ham on the cheeks, but that just blends everything in. So if you ever feel like you went too crazy, that handy dandy foundation powder is there for you. So I'm using my Brow Wiz in Chocolate. I'm just going to go ahead and line under my brow. Then I go ahead and do the outer portion of my brow. It's just really finding the shape of your brow. I can do an in-depth tutorial for you, but I just went ahead and wanted to show you guys really quickly what I do before I finish. Like, this is my last step, makeup, and then my lips. So then I create a little hairs in the front, blend it out. I bring my brow in right next to the bridge of my nose because I feel like it just helps with contouring and creating the shape that I want for my eyes and my face. So I go ahead and use my 24-hour gel from Benefit. And now I'm using my Cork Lip Liner from MAC Cosmetics. We're going to go ahead and line our lips. I love a pouty lip liner. So I'm going to go ahead and focus it on the center of my lips, going slightly above my lip line, bringing it down to my natural lip line so that it gives that more plumped look without it being too crazy. Now I'm taking a lip brush and just blending that out so that when we do put the lipstick on, everything is nice and seamless and blended out. I learned this technique from Amandizzle on Instagram, so check her out. She's bomb. Now I'm just taking KKW, I believe this is Nude 3, applying that all over the lip and then blending it together. And then I go ahead and take KKW Nude 2, focus that on the center of the lip. I'm just blending out my lip line because I felt like I lost it a little bit. Now I'm taking this Patrickta Major Glow Lip Gloss. It's a clear, shimmery lip gloss, so it just makes the lips look nice and juicy, gives them a little gloss. And this is our finished look. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video, learned something. Let me know in the comment section below if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or haikus, or ideas for next videos. Follow me on all my social media. Let's become friends. Don't forget, all products are listed in the description box, so go ahead and check that out. Thank you once again, and bye guys. See you guys in the next one.